So behind me is Nursery Tunnel 1, and as you can see, it doesn't have a roof or walls right now. We are getting Nursery Tunnel 1 re-skinned this month, and as you can see, what that means is they take all the plastic off, tidy it up, and then it's going to be recovered in brand new plastic. Nursery tunnels are a bit different to the crop tunnels because they actually have a double layer of plastic. And that is because it's tiny baby plants starting off their lives in here, and they need extra protection from the cold weather. So between the two skins of plastic is pumped warm air, and that keeps them extra protected during the cold winter months, because there will be plants in here from January. So the decision-making process behind this project as a business is timing is super, super important, because there's plants in this tunnel growing for the majority of the year. So between now and the end of December really is the only window that we've got. So there's like a 6 to 8 week window where we can afford for this tunnel to have no roof on it, because as you can see, there's lots of gear inside it, but none of it is weather sensitive tiny baby chilli plants. So we need it to be ready in time for when those new chilli plants are being sowed for it will be the 2026 season. Also, in terms of preparation for this, you can see the bed at the front had to be totally cleared. So this was all full of shrubs and wildflowers earlier this year, but it's had to be cleared out for access, and the same on the other side. This is a business critical tunnel for us because it's where all our chillies start out. Anything that goes into crop tunnels, anything that goes up to the kitchens, ends up in our food product. Plants that go via mail order or that then get harvested for seeds, everything starts in this tunnel, so it's absolutely critical. So as soon as it started to show signs of old age and wear and tear, we need to do something about it because it needs to be insurable. Because everything starts here across the whole business. So it's such an important tunnel that needs to be looked after. Doesn't come cheap, reskinning tunnels, so we've also had to save up for it. And there's other work that has to go on around it. We've had to spend labour time getting it all tidied up outside, and inside, believe it or not, has been tidied up, even though it looks a bit of a state. So there's a lot of factors that go into planning for a project like this. The project itself should hopefully take 1 to 2 weeks. There's 2 guys here today working on it, but it's all very weather dependent, as you can imagine. We've had some quick rain showers today, which haven't put them off too much, but the winds are a bit gusty. So when the plastic needs to go back on at the end, it needs to be in pretty much perfect still conditions, because as soon as there's a gust of wind, you've got 50 metres of plastic flapping about. It all becomes very unmanageable very quickly. So this is going to be the second tunnel that we've reskinned since we've been here, and we also got 2 new tunnels built from scratch. Most of the crop tunnels that we've got on the site, which are on this side of the hedge, are coming up for, if not slightly over 10 years old now, which is well over the kind of useful lifespan of some of this material. So we have to make a plan to start reskinning regularly. But as I say, this is a really important tunnel that we can't lose. Like Tunnel 5 last year that we reskinned, that was because it literally blew off halfway through the season. But we can't have that happen with this, because we would lose all the product. Everything starts from here. This tunnel was put up around 2014, so it is about 10 years old now, so it's about due a new hairdo. So behind this sheet of black plastic is the electrical control panel for the nursery tunnels. So because we are fully exposed to the elements, this has all had to be really nicely taped up so that no rain or anything gets into here. You can see over there's another small control panel that's been covered up. And Izzy's lovely seed collection board is probably going to get rained on, so I hope she's got a copy of that somewhere. Here's some pictures from when we weren't here over the weekend of the guys doing their thing. So we're back at Nursery Tunnel 1, and like the rest of the country, we had some pretty biblical rainstorms over the back end of last week. We're now at Monday again, and as you can see behind me, there's been a lot of activity over the weekend. So here you can see the skins have both gone on. There's 2 skins on this tunnel because it's a nursery tunnel for the smaller plants, you'll remember. It's not fully finished off yet, which is why there's lots of excess on the corner here, but it's a good example to show you the 2 layers. So that's the top layer, which is actually slightly clearer plastic to allow more sunlight in, and then the bottom layer underneath here, which is a slightly more opaque, which diffuses the sunlight, so the seedlings don't cook, basically. And then you can see this wiggle wire, which is what keeps everything in place around the metal frame. So that will get threaded in all the way around and secured in before the extras get trimmed off. One other thing that you'll notice is that there's quite a lot of give in the plastic. You can see some of the kind of sag lines. That is intentional because once it's all finished, air will be pumped between the 2 layers of plastic, which is another insulation feature of the nursery tunnels. That air warms up slightly and keeps everything inside that bit more protected from the outside temperatures. But the air will only be blown through the layers once everything is tight in place, obviously. So that will be one of the last things to happen. So until then, there's a little bit of give in the plastic, which is okay unless you have really, really strong winds, because there's obviously then a lot more movement with high winds. So there's a risk that a wind catches the tunnel and it can blow the plastic off. So that is why once you start this kind of project, you've got to move pretty flipping fast to finish it, because it's a little bit susceptible and vulnerable in the meantime. There's a bit of aftermath in here from the heavy rains that we've had while the roof was off. And we're still allowing the electricals to dry out before we take the covers off. But the good news is that the plastic is already doing its job because it's lovely and toasty warm in here. As you can see, Izzy's seed collection board somehow survived the insane rain of last week as well. Good news. So now you can see the roof is firmly on the new nursery tunnel, and it has been sealed in for the most part with that wiggle wire, this wiggle wire, in fact, that I'm standing next to. There's a few teething issues that now just need to be ironed out, but we're 99% of the way there, and that is great news because we want to start growing in here. We'll leave you with some footage of before and after. If you like this video, follow and subscribe to our channel.